Next I'm going to demonstrate the rose at the bottom. If I slide the picture across, there's a lovely deep reddy pink rose, and the outside petals have got a bit of greeny yellow in them. So I'm going to make up my colours. I've got a little bit of naphthol crimson. I'm not very good at saying it. Naphthol crimson. I've got a bit of my Prussian blue and a little bit of my yellow orange azo. So if we start with the red over here, and it wants pinking up a bit. Oh, this is a bit of Sennelier purple. Oh, that's already quite a nice pinky red. I think we might start with that. And what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to wet with just a clean brush this dark bit of the rose that fades out to pink by here. I'm going to wet that just with a wet brush, water, nothing else. Right up to the edge of those yellowy greeny petals. Then I'm going into my colour. And what I do this because inks are very, very permanent. If you would do this onto a dry piece, you're going to get lines. But if you wet your paper, the lines will stay at bay and you'll be able to push it out. It'll only go where the paper is wet. My words are dreadful when I'm painting, I do apologise. A little bit too pink, so let's just chuck a bit of red on top. It's all wet, so you're not going to get any lines. And then I'm going to do that, washing my brush, squeezing it out, and then I can just remove some from at the top so that it graduates nicely. That's nice. It may keep seeping in. I may have to do that again. Now I'm going to put a little bit of that Prussian blue with my pinky red. And that's going to give me a lovely shadow down here. Get that area of the rose in a nice shadow. It's going to go a little bit bluey for now, but be patient. I want that to come quite a long way up that shadow. Wash my brush, squeeze out the excess, push back the shadow. Then I'm going to just drop in some of that red on top, and you see how it now just makes it into a really dark red. That's a nice colour. Oh, that's lovely, I like that. Tease it up there a little bit, push it back along here a little bit. Just keep squeezing the brush dry. There's one bit. As we move into the rose, it's more or less the same thing. So if I do this centre bit, leaving out the yellowy orangey bits, do one section at a time so that they don't all bleed into each other. Put a little bit of that blue in. Let's get a little bit of a shadow at the edge. Shadow up there. Dry my brush, push it back. Little bit of bright orange, bright red, just to get that colour back to what it should be. Beautiful, that's nice. We're going to work our way through the petals, either with more water and paler colour, or with darker colour by adding a bit of blue and a bit more of the bright red, till you've finished all this. And then next I'll show you these yellowy greeny petals. Okay, let's have a go at some of these outside petals here that have turned a pale pinky yellowy greeny colour. The clues are in exactly what I said. A bit of this yellow, tiniest bit of blue to make it a little bit greeny. Oh, that's quite nice actually. That was a tiny bit of the blue and pink mixture added to it. Let's try that. I quite like that colour. Right, there's one of them out here. That's nice. Now that's a little bit strong, the colour. So I'll wash my brush, dry it, pull it off a little bit, and I can even, there we are, look, that's a nice colour, dab it dry. Under here, some of that colour's a tiny bit pinker under there. So let's just go back in a slightly pinker bit, just to bring up that shape a little bit. There we are, there's the one petal. Inside here is going to be dark again. So let's put some water so it can blend nicely. Pinky red. Oh, I hope I haven't done that too soon, that the bottom one's not going to bleed. No, it's not. That's okay. I've got a tiny little watercolour brush here, by the way. It's a number 3 watercolour brush, because this is little details on here. Well, let's darken it down a little at the bottom. You can see it all starting to build up nicely. Darken the colours where you want them darker. And allow that little shine to come through and push it back where you want it paler. There's a nice little yellowy leaf there. I'm going to make it a tiny bit darker under here. That's really, this is just what they call palette sludge. A little bit of whatever's dark on my palette at the moment. It hasn't got too much colour in it then. Now you can work your way around the whole rose like this. Put in some extra bits of colour in. Don't worry if the colour that's already on there is nice, because we're going to paint the background, which means you can leave the nice colour to speak for itself. Let's just fetch a little bit of pink into that one. And then I'm going to leave this yellowy green to do exactly what it wants here. Going to put a little bit of yellowy green around here and pull it out a bit. That's a bit bright. Maybe a tad more blue with it. Water it, pull it right out. Dab it. There we are. And it's a hint of colour in the petals. And there's a whole rose to work through like this. Take your time, look at the colours, see what's happening. And if the paper happens to be the right colour with your underpainting, you just leave well alone. Here we are. So I show you a picture of a finished rose now, and that one will be done. Little trick, if you find that your pink has overlapped on here too much, if you want to bring up some of this white shine, almost a shine anyway, on the edges, FW white acrylic ink, always give it a good shake because it's got sediment in the bottom. And this is an opaque white, and although it won't make it a bright white like acrylics, it will just calm down those colours. Now when you put it on, it looks really, really white, but within a minute or so, you will find that the background starts to come through and the colour will just go down a notch. And I use it quite a lot to just bring up the palest bits of my picture. And sometimes I'll wet my brush and just pull it in, graduate it a little. You see, it's already not so bright, but it's just paling up the edges. So there's another little tip if you find that it's not crisp enough or finished enough. Okay,